compared to a normal model. I mean, I am so happy. Magic, simply magic. The Hornby R30422 Dominion of New Zealand. Has it answered all my prayers? Hornby Collectors Club has just updated its conditions and terms. It's free to join, it's free to be in, so why not? You get 10% off pre-orders and 15% off in-stock items at the present time. Get in there. Plus you've got your reward points on top. Hi, my name's Andy, this is my channel Modeloco. For all things model railway, give us a thumbs up and like and subscribe, it won't hurt the bank balance.
When you hear a tooting of the whistle, it's a Casey at the throttle of the Cannonball Express.
Well, since the making of that video on that screen behind me, you'll know I've been looking for an A4 to haul the spectacular Hornby LNER double O gauge Coronation coaches. For the full review, search Modeloco ml59 or ml63 for how to get under the hood and fit figures. I've already got a gaggle of A4s, as you can see behind me. So when this one came on the market, why not a steaming lit lamp code Dapol black label one, for instance, for another 124 bucks? Well, let's have a closer look at the Hornby Dublo Dominion of New Zealand. Yes, a TTS Mallard had a good go and made the least severe of the two inclines in Lofthouse. But no, it wasn't the full 9, it was only a rake of 7. But that 3-pole motor is showing signs of juddering, to be honest, nowadays. I guess that's a price of savings made about 10 years ago. And as my TTS Flying Scotsman is doing the same, I can only put it down to that. To me, it's false economy if you're in this hobby for the long haul, but at least the choice is there and the choice is ours. It's never been so good to get into this hobby. I now have an original R3196 A4 Great Gathering Mallard. That's 8-pin though. This first incarnation of the Great Gathering models definitely have the brass etched nameplates. You can see them there in the box. No issues as such with these, but it has got the older type loco to tender wiring and link rod, so no quick release mechanism on this from Hornby. It's not a Dublo, it's fully detailed, an icon to own from that time. Great for the Rapido dynamometer car record-breaking speedrun rake with the correct LNER coronation formation. See Modeloco ML65 for that. I'm also fortunate enough to have the R30264 Great Gathering 10th anniversary bittern, and there's some ridiculous prices on eBay if you look around. And it once was dressed up as the Dominion of New Zealand, but that's another story. Not forgetting too that bittern was also disguised as 2509 Silverlink. This was done for display purposes in the late 80s and early 90s, notably at the NRM, to commemorate the Silver Jubilee train and the record-breaking run of the original Silverlink. Hornby are bringing one out soon. This again has the 10th anniversary Great Gathering nameplate. Slightly nicer box. Limited to 510 as before. In the detailing pack, you've got the option to now fit a front tension lock. So as I'm sure you can see, things have progressed since these Dublo 2-rail versions got reintroduced. And so we now move on to the Dominion of New Zealand. Again, a front coupling in the detailing pack. The box isn't quite as elaborate, I'm afraid, inside, but still, we've got a Dublo diecast model. Like the 10th anniversary model, it's 21-pin. DCC ready format, of course. Yes, we've got the jockey wheels as normal that you can take in and take out. We've got flanges on if you're doing displays. Like the first generation of the Great Gathering Mallard that I've got, then that had brass etched nameplates. This has got an actual like 3D looking nameplate already affixed. You've also got the additional now cab drivers and the usual bits and pieces, including that front coupler, which is a new addition to A4s, especially with Hornby. And I plan to add Hornby HM7000 sound and a Hornby power bank. I have 2 Hornbys in Garter Blue already, so why not one of the Dapol black label models? Well, it's all to do with A4 running compromises and coronations to make up a prototypical train. With the Lofthouse incline trials that I've filmed but I haven't added as yet, and I've put them up as members videos and such like, but I will add these in due course, it needed to be die-cast for that added weight. The Dapol black labels have steam generators, and yes, I love this feature, and the lit lamps as well, as on the Hornby Steam Gen Black 5. See Modeloco ML60 and ML60B for reviews and a 1 week later update for hidden features. But these Dapol Black Label A4s in both batch 1 and 2 use oil and run hot. And as Simon Kohler hinted in my interviews with him, the cool running water-based Hornby ones will come along once the tech can fit under the A4 nose cone aerodynamic Grizzly iconic design shape. Plus the compromise with the steam generator models from Hornby is they have to give up some weight and pulling power to fit in the mechanism to make these work. And would the confusingly named Black Label A4 suffer this compromise too? In truth, I don't know, as they have die-cast body shells and Hornby's steam generator Modelocos don't as yet. And these Dapol models do have a die-cast tender as well to pull, as far as I'm aware. I do like that idea, but would I want the sleuth oil type design, having now seen, used and got the Hornby ones? Plus, these steam generators are getting an upgrade on newer models coming on track soon. So check on Hornby's website for which have it. And if this sounds good to you, because these promise even more steam consistency, a very accurate synced chuff realism with an added optical sensor of some kind, I think. Anyway, back to this new and slightly up-featured Dublo model from Hornby, because it also comes down to some heaven in the detail. I won't say devil in this case. And that is all in the livery, the name and number, the tender design, skirting, and no, it's not on the tender as it was back in the day, but hey, that was taken off and no one has ever added this anyway. Font and lettering, and does this model have a die-cast tender? As I assume from information gleaned in my Coronation coach review that it would. And no, it doesn't, which is a bit of a letdown. And no, it hasn't got any of that white trim on the tender wheels or the locomotive ones, to come to think of that. Did the original? I don't know. Something you can tell me. Can't say it all, can I? But on the plus side, Calchap exhaust on Bittern and Mallard and not on Dominion. Also the painted side tops, not on Bittern as it's more modern. No walking gangway on Mallard with the cowling down the side to give headroom for the cab crew to change over, so the locomotive didn't have to stop. And of course, slight differential in profiling here. Silver painted handrails, grab rails on Mallard, as it was at the NRM for the Great Gathering. Coal chute, bit of gold paint down on the detail in here, and silver on Mallard. I've had to fit my own cab crew, of course. That's about it, I would say. You might be able to spot the odd thing as well. And of course, the arced end where Mallard didn't. Bittern hasn't. But of course, the A4s that were used with the LNER Coronation coaches did, including the Dominion of Canada. You know, remember the one with the bell that Hornby did? That's been quite popular for some people to pull this rake. And as far as I know, looking at the Dapol Black Label A4s, it's only the green livery that have got the radius tenders on, so you wouldn't be able to get a prototypical one from the Black Label range at present in Garter Blue to go with those Coronation coaches. Let me know in the comments if you think otherwise. And then finally, because apart from fitting the sound, sometimes it's the smallest detail that you find inside the box that can give you the most pleasure. And the most pleasure I found was actually fitting the supplied numbers and tender lettering, because this is like the silver foil treatment on the LNER Coronation coaches that set them apart so much from everything else, and this sets this A4 apart from all others for me. And when you get it all together, it looks stunning in real life. I've done my best to flash the camera lights on it and stuff like that, but to actually see it once you've got it and it's embossed and it's in 3D, because you've got two eyes, it's 2D on a screen obviously, but once it's running round, magic, simply magic. I've got a 3.25 incline up in Lofthouse at its steepest point to pull all this lot up, so it's all more to pull if you've got a die-cast tender. And as far as I can see, as with my other Dublo models, the paint match nowadays is second to none. Okay, the Modeloco weigh-in. We've got Great Gathering Mallard, 10th anniversary Dublo Bittern, and at the back, Dominion of New Zealand Dublo. All fully fitted, but not a Dublo model, 410 grams. Ooh, feel the weight there. There we go. 503 grams. Cab crew, power bank, HM7000 21 pin. Mallard's 8 pin, of course. And finally, Dominion of New Zealand. And one more gram. 504 grams. Power bank, cab crew, detailing, lettering. You've got a gram in the silver font. There you go. Just as a matter of interest, I put a Mallard TTS model on there, 377 grams. Just so we know. I mean, that did really well. Okay, let's go back in time now to start that decoder fit, then we'll look at the transfer work after that. Then you're not getting your daubs and dabs all over the tender and loco and spoiling anything before you even start. Oh, and those cabin door decals as well. I also fit the front detailing, and they just needed a little bit of a needle file right at the ends just to ease them in. Otherwise, they were a bit burred and a very tight fit. And I just added a little dab of canopy glue with a cocktail stick to the ends after I filed them down. Here's a little something I always do. 9-volt battery test before I fit any decoders or anything like that to these locos. The smoothness, and if it's actually working before you put a decoder in there and try it. And this is. It's superb. That's the 9-volt battery test out of the way. Next job is to fit the 21 pin DCC Bluetooth Hornby decoder. I got for £34.99 in the sale and reward points on top. And of course, a power bank. While it's on the track, I just uncouple the loco and a little tough pull. That's why I have it on the track. Underneath, you can see when it comes to actual machining, how smooth the wheels are, how well defined the die-cast moulding is, and the plastic moulding as well. So to get in these, you do need to remove this little dovetail NEM pocket. And once it's out, then we can get to the screw that we're after underneath. Put that separately. And it's just the one screw, as far as I can remember. Magnetic screwdriver. And then off comes the tender, easily and as simple as that. So then we've got the blanking plug, and the design has slightly altered now in this latest Dublo model. It's got this quite large cut cube area, which will really bode well, I think, for when we put the speaker in. We've got the decoder. Be careful not to handle all the electronics, and some people are more static than others. Got a grounding mouse mat here. That's quite handy. Sugar cube speaker, boom boxes or resonance chambers. You've only really one go at this once you've peeled that tab back. And these look better produced as well. Probably a second batch. But I've gone for the second to the least shallow, because when I put it in that gap that's now provided, to me it looks as though it's going to sit under the 21 pin. And that has to go in there. There's not going to be much room because of this profiling. To get the 21 pin off, just going rocking side to side, but the last thing you want to do is bend that pin number 1 there, or that one that's on its own. Let's take this out as well. Made sure that that's been clipped into there the right way round. It only goes in one way, as I always tell people. Peel back this sticker, discard that, get the base resonance chamber, line it up, and just offer it on. And I think that will sit really nicely under there. Make sure you've got it all lined up correctly, because it's so easy to get these out of sync. It's quite a tight little fit as well. Once more into here. Put it on a hard surface to get that to go down. You could even wrap that round. I've done that before today. That's all right. Do that. Again, these have reduced in size since their first incarnation, and I do think they're going to probably reduce in size again in their next incarnation. We're just being careful just to offer these in at the right way. Tiny little click, and then that can come around. With this added recess, it's going to make it a lot easier to get it all in. There we go, looking quite neat now. A little bit of black tack, don't use blue tack. It's putting a bit on the captain tape and hold nice and secure. Put a little bit on each edge. It's not got any of the wheels, they drop down anyway. This way around. Back to the magnetic screw. Make sure everything's gone down, you know. Before they brought in this quick snap connector, it was a bit greasy, but it smells gorgeous. That old smell of grease, I don't know what it is. They must not use it now. They must have gone onto like silicon-based oils. Walk through tender with a little aperture there to let light in when they walk through this door here. And it's curved for those aerodynamics, and it looks gorgeous. I didn't think Hornby would come out with one so quick. I do want a steam generator, but at this present time, I've got inclines in Lofthouse, yeah? And I'm gonna need no compromises when it comes to weight and pulling power, and I do not, I repeat, do not want traction tyres. Little roof louvers here, all 4 of them open and close to your liking. It's not a cowl chap exhaust, it's just a single. Remember the Scotsman, when that was fitted with a cowl chap exhaust, had to have side fenders, like blinkers, which I think spoilt the Flying Scotsman, but it was because it was fitted with a cowl chap exhaust and it caused blowback, and the driver and the fireman couldn't see really where they were going. The nose cone here, luckily, didn't blow back. Had it done so, heaven knows what they'd have done. So this is where I'm going to have to bring in my Hornby Elite, not for anything else, but just to power the track and connect the HM7000 decoder. Make sure your internet's on, but most of all, your Bluetooth. Start the app up, go into there, link device, start scan. You can see it, but don't do anything till it's finished, otherwise it won't let you touch it. And the other thing I want to add as well, pick your gadget that you're going to run with all your trains. I've got this iPad mini, Gen 1. It's perfect for that. My other iPad Gen 1, my iPad Pro, which was a bigger screen, has just finally given up the ghost. And I've just gone for an 11. But this Gen 1 works with it. Once you've picked your gadget, stick with that because all your trains are going to be on that gadget. If you then wanted to put them on a different iPad or a different gadget, you're going to have to unlink them first from this one to put them over. It's just how the cookie crumbles. And also you need to be registered with Hornby, as you probably know this by now. And then they send you a device reset code when all is up and running. And there we are, we've done. And then what I do is just turn the track off. Go to the Hornby website and look how their photographs now are getting perfectly in line with the app. And we want to look at profiles. So we want the A4 TXS. So that's the one I want. Install. Usually takes about 20 minutes, 25 minutes, depending on your internet speed. As usual, uploading onto the chip through the app on the iPad. You want to press yes. Sound pack installed, yes. And then we need to do the all-important powering again. Right, I removed it off the track, giving it a bit more time. And look at that. No problem at all. On setting 1. Oh, yes. Lovely. And reverse. Not running. Just hit that plus sign a couple of times and it'll go to 1. Oh, perfect. Another success. It's a Dublo. I mean, it should work right, shouldn't it? Accurascale and Cavalex have altered the wiring through ESU lock sound. So I don't think you're going to be able to fit these decoders in their locomotives. Well, certainly not the Class 60s anyway, from what I'm hearing. You can, and they'll run, but all the functions won't work, like all the yard lights and things like that. Don't know why ESU have done that, maybe to get you to buy their chips. But I like Zimmo. I like these. What I'll do as well is test the power bank with the wheels running. There we go. Version 2 power bank, so you just get enough. You can hear it fizzling out there. There we go. Trying to run. But when you turn the motion off, it lasts quite a while and it's still connected. That's the last thing to drop off, is the Bluetooth. And there we go. That's the end of the life in the power bank. The question being now, do I go ahead and fit the transfers that set this model apart and will really catch that light when they go past? I've got to have a go, haven't I? I'm going to snip exactly between the two. Then what you do is peel this back. The first two letters do line up. I thought they'd all line up, to be honest, but they don't. And once you've got that on, I guess you press, and then these should just come off from the backing. It doesn't tell you in the instructions how to do it. It just gives you it. So I don't know. I'm in the dark. Wow, it looks amazing. Oh, man. I've just done two. That is incredible. Right, I've got to go on the second one now, so I'm going to keep calm. I think I'm going to do it one at once, to be honest. I'm just going to fold a little bit of a tab over. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I might bash the camera with my head, but this is more important, isn't it? I peel this one back too. It really is beautiful, is that? Now I've got to get these numbers in. I think I've done it, guys. Still knocking camera, I'm sorry, but I've got my head thing on. Probably meant to leave them. I don't know. I could have taken the tender off, but I'm not going to pull it off now. I've nearly done it. Look at that, folks. That looks, superb. So I'm going to go into the detailing pack, get these little decals out. If I lived near a model shop, I'd go and get someone to do it for me, you know, but I don't. So just gently twisting back and forth, got them out. Thought I'm not going to glue that on until I've got the other decals on the other side, because I'm going to have to glue those on. I'm not going to use black tack. Now I could, but I'll move them. I'm going to use a bit, again, of Modeler's canopy glue. But that's after I've done next side. I'm going to detach it as well this time. And I turn Hornby Elite off because it doesn't have that irritating buzz. As I say, keep calm. Just a quick reminder, I have clipped the top of the paper off. Get sharp scissors when you do it. Then it's not going to foul that rail as you're trying to push it down, okay? Right, there we go. I've done it. I'm just peeling it back now. Keep giving them a good rub down. That's it. You want it all on. You've got to go very cannily with it. I don't know what they use, what glues they use. I mean, we're talking a top company here, you know, they've been around for years. They know what they're doing, don't they? And it certainly seems so when it comes to stuff like this. I mean, look at that. That looks brilliant. And if you do get your stickers just slightly off, you're going to get like that shadowing effect, which makes it even look better. Just as long as you don't go too far off. That's great. On with side B of the tender. So yeah, I've just started with the R this time, and then I'm going to work up. If these three match, I'll leave it on the tape, but I think it's better to cut them all separately. It's too much of a long run to risk it. If the paint works just out a little bit on this, then it's going to not match up. Now, as I said, I've never done this before, so what I am finding is you can rub one on and then lift it off, apply it, and then do your next one and your next one in here. We've done it. This, believe it or not, makes me feel so good that I've managed to achieve something like this. It'll make you feel good too if you take your time and do it bit by bit, letter by letter. The first LN I did with them together, but I would do them separately, keep them on the tape, do one at once, then remove it. As you've seen, you do it however you please. I'm not going to judge you And you've got your silver trim there, or it looks like silver. It probably isn't, actually. Looks like it, though. Oh, I'm so chuffed. I am so chuffed. Look at that. 4492. Compared to a normal model, I mean, I am so happy. And I've done it myself. As I say, these look already fitted. They're definitely, you know, stand off. I wouldn't say the brass, they're not, but they do catch the light. And trim, which runs silver here as well. Whew, beautiful. Just gone in and unnip this screw, because if you overnip it, it did tend to splay out and go over this silver lining here just a little bit on one side. So less of a nip helps that. It's worth it, isn't it, when you've gone to so much bother to go in and fit these transfers and everything else. Make sure your dovetails in, and away we go. Just a little bit of a clean down with the felt cloth now. Get rid of these for now. No, I didn't have a battery in them for the little light. I've got plenty of light above. And all I'm going to do is give it a like you would glasses. I'm not going to put any chemicals on there or anything like that. Probably it's a bit dirty for this job. Make sure there's no grit in there or anything else like that. And then simply, nice gentle rub just to get those final bits of residue from that tape off, out of the way. And I am very fortunate, I know, to have 3, and I am a little bit older, so I have waited all my life to really indulge a little bit more. The turn, of course, being modern, it's got the warning transfers on. If I'm really gentle, I can lay them on the side for you to look at as well. And that's just about it for another one. Thanks for tuning in, and yes, the county emblems on the cab sides, I used the canopy glue as well. Just dabbed a little bit on the transfer underneath. That's really hard to do because you think, oh, if I mess this up. When I put the coloured plate on top, it didn't all run out, and that canopy glue does dry clear. Plus, I knew exactly what I was doing, so if you're not sure, then get some advice. And also, I didn't want to use black tack because I'll handle the model and then it'll move and it'll look silly, or it'll drop off somewhere around Lofthouse and I'll never find a darn thing again. So anyway, I'll leave you with that shot of it passing the Dublo box, and hopefully on the next one running round Lofthouse when I've had a nice cup of tea and a good night's sleep. Until the next one, happy modelling. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe, and support independent modelers like myself.
So long for now, we'll be seeing you when Casey comes a-rolling by again with a steaming porter and a smoking stack, and the wheels are striking thunder on the railroad track. There'll be Casey Jr. and the Red Rock too, Wally Cinders and the rest of the crew in a thrilling adventure that's a lot of fun, when Casey takes the throttle for another run. Casey Jones, steaming and a-rolling. Casey Jones, you never have to guess. When you hear a tooting of the whistle, it's a Casey at the throttle of the Cannonball Express. Casey Jones, steaming and a-rolling. Casey Jones, you never have to guess. When you hear a tooting of the whistle, it's a Casey at the throttle of the Cannonball Express.